For me, it's even simpler. Any design that says do upwards of 30 minutes worth of work, and maybe you'll get rewarded. Or maybe that time was actually a net negative. Shrug. That feels disrespectful of my real life time.
Arc Raiders blew me away, but I am not staying. Yes, you guys heard the title of this video correctly. Now, just to provide context, I must ask you a question. Do you feel like playing Arc Raiders is a waste of time? And I'm not joking. Honest to God, answer that question down in the comment section below. Do you feel like the gameplay loop that this title offers is falling short in some way, shape, or form? Now, with that said, what if I told you some gamers do feel like Arc Raiders is essentially a waste of time and the gameplay loop isn't something that is everlasting? Folks, we're about to dive into a video that is making a compelling argument for just that. Now, if you like anything Arc Raiders, make sure you hit that like button. And also, if you care to stay up to date with anything Arc Raiders related, consider subscribing today. So the video that I will be reacting to is by Bald Squid. And the title of his video is as follows: Arc Raiders, a masterpiece I won't keep playing. And then in the thumbnail, he has "It's complicated." So folks, you already know this video is going to be good. This is definitely going to bring forth some discussion and really make us see Arc Raiders in another person's point of view. Now, this might contrast what you feel about the game, but that's why I make these videos here, for the discussion and for us to deep dive into other gamers' perspectives. Now, if you care to check out Bald Squid, his links will be down in the description below. And without further ado, let's hop into the reaction.
You'll know if Arc Raiders is for you within the next 78 seconds. Yes, that's longer than my normal. We've got nuance to sort through with this one. Here's your TLDR. Arc Raiders is the most user-friendly take on extraction shooters in years. Stylish, social, generous. It does almost everything that people complain the genre doesn't do normally. It lowers the punishment, throws you a bone with XP progress even on failed extracts. It gives you a world that feels alive, comes with a clear pedigree and roadmap instead of trust us bro, and it manufactures big PvPvE moments without making every loss feel like a tax. Now, if that sounds like enough of a softening from a genre infamous for inducing my hairstyle upon people, this is peak. It's a technically excellent game that runs well, has robust progression, and the sense of scope and world building is on point with visuals and sounds and immersion. But here's the part I can't pretend away. Extraction shooters, even the softened version on offer here, are still built on emergent gameplay, sometimes empty runs, RNG-flavored objectives and consequences, and the constant threat that the last 12 to 30 minutes of your life didn't matter.
Now, just see, guys, you're seeing here what he's setting up, okay? You see what he's setting up. Tell me, guys, is Arc Raiders a waste of time for you? Now, we're going to get into it here. He's going to break some things down.
Arc Raiders proves something important. A great implementation doesn't fix an identity that is a poor fit for you. And that's fine. Not every piece of media is for every consumer. If all you wanted was that TLDR, cool, I get it. Thanks for sticking around. Before you go though, do us a favor, hit the YouTube buttons. It lets the robots on the back end know that this was a useful video and suggests it to more people, because I hate waiting 3/4 of the way through a video to get the information I actually wanted just as much as y'all do. If you're new here, hi, I'm Squid. I cover action and shooter titles, and the rule here is maximum meaningful info with minimum reaction faces. Arc Raiders released on October 30th, 2025 on PC, as well as PS5 and Xbox, both Series X and S, for $39.99 US or your regional equivalent for the base game. The super fancy deluxe edition for $60 is also on offer, which includes cosmetics and metacurrency, but nothing I'd consider egregiously pay to win. So let's talk about the moment-to-moment core gameplay loop here. The loop is textbook extraction, just smoothed out. You'll load in from the hub, Speranza, which, by the way, is weirdly hopeful for a post-collapse shooter. Yeah, it's bright, busy, full of people, and not a Tarkov basement full of crypto goblins, which is nice. And that tone is very much on purpose. From there, you'll drop topside onto large multi-path maps. Some lean a bit more close arena, others have constricted alleyways and streets and verticality, others have wide open vistas. You have a great deal of environmental variety on offer. You'll scavenge complete feats to unlock cosmetics and consumables a la Helldivers, kill or dodge arc bots, and dodge other squads. or don't dodge them. You can make them have to dodge you. Now, that last bit's not my jam anymore. Granted, I am the guy who still hasn't been able to finish an evil Arthur playthrough in Red Dead. So, yeah. From there,
I didn't get the joke, but yeah, let's go.
Shrinking departure window pushes everyone into conflict. If you hang out too long in the zone, well, you're forced into that final funnel. This isn't a shrinking of the zone playable area per se. Rather, extraction points close the longer a match persists, until eventually you're stumbling over one another at the end, all trying to pile into one extract, hoping nobody gets stabby. Once you make your way out, you have your standard loop of banking and investing your loot, credits, and XP into hideout benches, skill trees, and the raider deck. That's that Helldivers-esque thing I mentioned a moment ago, so that the next run is more interesting. Not just, hey, you didn't die, congrats. And when it works, it almost feels scripted. Set pieces spawn seemingly by accident, and the tension sells the whole affair home in a grounded way. Also, there's a chicken. Scrappy MVP. There's a vibrant, emergent PvE ecology on offer. Arc enemies aren't just robots that shoot and patrol. You've got snitches that live up to their name, leapers that punish bad positioning while looking like a drunken jumping spider, and everything from nuisances to nope along the way. And part of what makes these sing is the AI and movement behind the scenes. Arc Raiders was originally planned as a co-op PvE game, so the bones of in-depth enemy character remain on full display. The bots won't error out randomly or demonstrate room temperature IQ unless it fits that specific mob's identity and your interactions with it. There's a bit of a psychological safety net here. You will still get XP, feat progress, and hideout upgrades even when the extract goes sideways. And that is 100% deliberate design to reduce loss of version and keep casuals in the funnel. PC Gamer literally said in their coverage that it's an extraction shooter for the masses.
And that it is. Arc Raiders is definitely proven to be something that a lot of gamers enjoy, and that's by design, right? It's meant to have broad appeal, so I totally agree with him there on that.
The inclusion of safety pockets in your gear for loot that prevent the loss of one item on knockout are there at nearly baseline, and more importantly, are sustainable with the drops that you collect, even if your name's not Shroud. The entire affair leans a bit more social and less nihilistic. Speranza tells you that you're scavenging for people, not just yourself. And that tiny narrative shift might be part of why some folks describe the game as bizarrely collaborative, and why you see topside truces instead of constant kill on sight.
True.
It's different from Tarkov's Trust No One fantasy. In-game voice chat is surprisingly active a majority of the time, at least as of this record, and your microphone is just as much a part of your equipment as any item that your character has. That said, my own experiences are a bit of a coin flip when it comes to player interactions. After keeping track over the days around launch, yes, I'm a nerd. Yes, I've actually been keeping track. I'm at about 56% immediately hostile to 44% cooperative player interaction rates in the solo queue. And I anticipate as more people accrue materials and are less worried about or threatened by gear loss or progression, we'll see the average stabby factor rise in the player base. Time will tell. As for the places you might experience some friction, the time risk loop still rules the experience. Hardcore extraction players may be cranky about the softening of broader design, and may likely feel that Arc is too forgiving, slow to force high-risk decisions.
Yeah, some gamers are actually alluding to that as of recent, stating that Arc Raiders is a bit too friendly. I discussed this in my previous video, and you guys came out in droves, and we had a great conversation in my comment section. Do you guys feel like Arc Raiders is a bit too friendly? Do you feel like we should have more encounters that really encourage conflicts, a real struggle between players versus players, not the Arc themselves? We already know the damn Arc. they're great, they're fantastic, and they're a terror to face. But should there be more PvP conflict within Arc Raiders? Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. I feel as though right now we're settling right in that midpoint. I feel like it could change in any instance where people just go pro PvP, right? Heavy. And I wouldn't be opposed to that. honestly, because I do see a lot of kumbaya, like holding hands, like, yo, brother, let's extract together. And I'm just like, that's not really how people really function, right? Like again, inherently people have good in them, but the way Arc Raiders folks are going about some shit, it's just, I don't know. It takes away the novelty to some degree when every extract, it's like a friendly extract. Now, mines haven't been that way, right? But I know there's some gamers out there that have a lot of friendly encounters. And for me, I feel like that would just kill the tone of the game over time. Like, it would be cute in the beginning, but I don't know. I like that kind of PvP risk reward type of thing. And then you got the arc out there you got to worry about. I like that dynamic. I kind of like that pressure. And I'm not really trying to negotiate my way out of shit, right? I'm kind of like the person that's like, yo, I'm going to shoot my way out of shit. You know, that's just me, though. Let me know what you guys think.
For me, it's even simpler. Any design that says do upwards of 30 minutes worth of work and maybe you'll get rewarded. Or maybe that time was actually a net negative. Shrug. That feels disrespectful of my real life time.
So Arc Raiders, in this gentleman's eyes, is a waste of time. He feels in his eyes that you could go for an extensive amount of time looting and gathering and going in these intense battles just to lose it all at the end. Well, he's right. That's an extraction shooter for you, but I don't think that's a bad thing. Now, it does suck when you go on these types of runs over and over and over again just to lose everything at the end. I've been through it personally already in Arc Raiders. I'm going to keep it real with you guys. I'm not the best killer in here. Like, and I'm sure many of you folks at home are probably just like me. Like, I'm average. Like, I get it in here and there. I win some, you lose some, you know, like I'm on that. But I have had times and instances where I felt as though like, shit, man, I'm just not extracting. I'm getting fucked over more than I am winning. And the feeling sucks. It sucks. But is Arc Raiders a waste of time? Is the gameplay loop flawed in some way that it just makes you not want to play anymore? And ultimately, we have to ask ourselves, does it respect your time?
And honestly, I think there's enough of that conflict in all of our real life daily lives that I don't need it in something that I choose to do for fun with limited time to invest in the thing. Yes, even with the YouTube channel here. Now, as I said, the safe pocket for loot, as well as reasonably useful free loadouts that exist without a cooldown, do quite a bit to reduce that friction, which is greatly appreciated, very forward thinking. And at the same time, the game is built on that tension at its core. If that's something that grinds at you, that rub is omnipresent here. On emergent gameplay, or, depending upon how much of a pedant you want it to be, inconsistent gameplay. At its best, there's wild cinematic matches and tense, memorable slogs. And there are also runs that are the opposite. Simply, if you're intolerant of that variance, a genre whose selling point is variance won't land with you. And that's not Arc under-delivering. That's extraction being extraction. Know what it is you're getting into here.
Right.
There will likely be some conflicting opinions about the value of RNG and rotating objectives as the glue that holds the overall progression experience together. Feats, inconsistent encounters, and the hub economy are the facets and flavor of that progression. If that blend of uncertainty and to-do lists appeals to you, you'll be right at home. For me, that reads a little bit like procedural busy work between the actual fun bits. It's effective retention design, but not necessarily compelling moment to moment.
Now, he's really harping on the fact of the key systems that are within Arc Raiders, right? He's stating that a lot of it seems like fetch work and just meaningless in the sense of like, okay, we're doing this thing for player retention, not so much of the enjoyment of the experience, right? So it seems as though he's stating here, Embark systems that are implemented within Arc Raiders could do something better as far as player retention in a different manner, What do you guys think about Arc Raider systems? Do you like what you do in the game far as questing and looting and the grind overall to progress in the title? Do you guys think that they're fair about it? Do you think it's just? Or do you feel like the carrot that they're dangling in front of us is still somewhat fucking us over? He proposes a good question here. Now, me, again, I told you guys, I've been on the more PvP type of side and kind of gun questing, rifle questing, you know, just collecting different pistols and rifles. I'm just trying to build up my arsenal overall, and I haven't been questing too much, but he makes a valid point there. To you guys, do you feel like the questing and everything you do is up to snuff? Do you feel like it's worth your while?
All right, rounding things up here with value, the burrito index, and overall verdicts. So what do you get for your $40? Or 3.6 burritos in my case? Well, you get a live service extraction shooter with crossplay, an aggressive 2025 and 2026 roadmap, fair cosmetics, and a loop that doesn't zero you out on a bad night, while preserving some of the most polished and vibrant experiences the genre has to offer.
Balanced take there. That is what you factually get.
That's honestly pretty strong.
Right.
If you play with a regular squad and you like telling stories about runs, your cost per session is going to be pretty low. If you're a solo who thrills on uncertainty and loss, you'll eat well here. So as for who should buy, wait for a sale or skip outright. You know, for the buy right now crew, people who wanted to like extraction shooters but bounced off Tarkov's cruelty, you know, co-op squads who want PvE that erupts into PvP, and anyone who lives for highlight reel chaos. The wait for discounts or patches crew are going to be hardcore extraction veterans who need something a little bit more unforgiving, PvE first players who are still sad about the original all co-op pitch, and folks for whom $40 for something they're not sure if they're going to enjoy, that's $40 you could spend on other things. Now for the outright skip crew, people who just don't like the risk versus reward, you know, extract to progress brain puzzle. Arc Raiders is the friendliest version of that puzzle to date, and it still didn't convert me. Because underneath great decisions, it is still a genre about rolling the dice on your time. I think this is one of the clearest examples this year of a game being excellent and not for me. I can admire the systems, the execution, the hard work and passion that went into it for literal years. I can recommend it to most of you, and I can also go play something else that's more in line with who I am as a player and customer. You can too. Or you can lean into this and be stoked about what's likely the best mainstream adaptation of the extraction shooter genre in recent memory. Both are fine.
So folks, what do you feel about what Bald Squid was saying? Do you feel like Arc Raiders is a waste of time to some degree? Now, I guess in some ways, if you keep losing raids and different shit like that, it could be justifiable to say that. Okay. But I don't know if all gamers feel that way. Myself personally, I know what I signed up for diving into the Arc Raiders experience. And personally, you know your boy, I love it. I think it's really, really dope. However, there are gamers out there that feel like Bald Squid. Some folks are just like, this isn't my jam. And I feel as though that there will be other games that align more well with their personality, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that, right? There's no loss here. There's no loss at all. He recognizes the experience is not for him, and he knows himself enough to back away from the table and say, hey, I don't want to participate. However, there are tons of folks out there that would say otherwise and argue differently. But what camp do you sit in? Do you feel as though Arc Raiders is a waste of your time? Or do you feel like this experience is top notch, keeps you on the edge of your seat and asking you for more? Which camp are you in? Now guys, if you did not check out my last Arc Raiders video, it was a banger. Be sure to click here and I'll be sure to see you there.